Hello, my friend. Trust you are well this week, finding Jesus faithful, as he certainly is. Number of things to mention for you. Some of it's new, some of it's just by way of reminder. First thing, just by way of reminder, we talked last week about the new shepherding model that we have as a church. And that is based around a triad structure, an elder, a deacon, and a shepherdess, each coming together to care for a flock. And there's something attached to a graphic that is attached or linked in this email that may help kind of give you a visual representation of what we intend that to look like and feel like and how we hope it operates. So if you haven't already heard from your triad, you should be very soon as we seek to implement that new shepherding model. As we look to Sunday, this coming Sunday, May 24, in adult Sunday school, Jeff Nykirk is going to be leading our time together. He's going to have us look at Esther chapter 6, and he's asked that we might read the book of Esther ahead of time. So if you're able to give Esther a read ahead of time, that'd be great. That'll help us situate Esther chapter 6 in its broader context. Then during the sermon, or during worship for the sermon, we're going to be looking at 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 13. So I'll be tackling that passage this weekend. And then next weekend, May 31st, Will is going to preach that last section of 2 Peter chapter 3, that last concluding paragraph. So me and then Will over the next 2 weeks in the pulpit. And then June 7th is the first Sunday of our summer schedule, which means no Sunday school, but worship still at 10:30. And June 7th is also the first Sunday that Andrew Holbrook will be in our pulpit, leading us through a series on Proverbs this summer. So that's still several weeks out. This Sunday, 2 Peter 3, 1 to 13. Next Sunday, 2 Peter 3, I think it's 14 to 18, the last paragraph of 2 Peter 3. And then Sunday, June 7, Andrew is going to begin our Proverbs series. Speaking of the summer, do want to remind you that we could use still some help with the roadies, the setup crew. So deacons are happily stepping in for some of that, but they can't do all of it. So there still is room for additional help. There's a Sign Up Genius, but come if you're able. If you could do 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you have kids, bring the kids. There's lots that needs to be done. Rolling out carpets, moving toys, setting up chairs, all those kinds of things, unwrapping cables, all that sort of stuff. There's plenty to do on a Sunday morning. It could definitely be a family venture. So many thanks to those that have been doing roadies for a long time, or those that have jumped into that recently. It's a huge help to make sure that not only worship happens, but Sunday school and nurseries are set up, and children's worship rooms are set up. So thank you for that help. And if you're able to jump in at all this summer, that'd be a beautiful thing. Additionally, it's worth mentioning that Will Milks, Jeff Nykirk, both of their last Sundays with Cross Park is June 7th. So first Sunday in June. Will going to a new church in Raleigh, and Jeff and Gabby heading to Western Kentucky, where Jeff's going to continue the RUF work at Western Kentucky. So June 7th is going to be those brothers' last Sundays. We do have another transition to mention. Some of you are probably already aware, but Aaron Martinson has been Cross Park's administrator for going on 9 years. And I said at a leadership meeting this past Tuesday that there's very little that has happened in the life of Cross Park ministry-wise that Erin has not in some way had her fingers on and loved on and cared for and helped shape over those years. So some of you don't know Erin because she worships at a different church. She and John and Millie had been part of Cross Park for a long time. They're at Christ Central now, and Christ Central's offered her a job, and Erin's going to go work with Christ Central. So we're losing Aaron Martinson as our administrator, which is very sad. And I told the leadership team on Tuesday evening, I'm still a little bit grumpy with our brothers at Christ Central, but I understand why they hired Aaron. So that's sad, and yet in that the Lord has provided wonderfully for us in Kirsten Green. Kirsten is stepping into the role of administrative assistant, but we're actually expanding it a little bit, still part-time, so to be an operations coordinator. So Kirsten is stepping in to do what Aaron has done, and then it's going to be a little bit expanded to a little bit more coordination of events and making sure everybody's connected, especially over the course of the summer, with Will being gone permanently and me being gone temporarily on sabbatical. Kirsten's going to help do some of the coordinating for us of things. So Aaron Martinson's leaving after about 9 years. Kirsten Green, we have already hired her. She's already started. We have about a 2-week overlap. Aaron's last day is May 31st. Kirsten's first day was this past Monday. So she's getting a baptism by fire. But we're very thankful. Kirsten has demonstrated her administrative abilities, her love for this church. She's been involved in so much already over the last year with transition team, and she was part of the rebrand team, facilities team. So Kirsten's already been very active in helping behind the scenes make sure that Cross Park continues to move forward and thrive. And so very thankful that she's been willing to step into this new role. It's one more example of how the Lord continues to provide for his church. So yes, there's a lot of transition going on. Cross Park is not the same church that it was a year ago. We're not the same church we were 5 years ago. But our Father is the same. And he's extending us the same grace. He's extending us the same mercy. We are indwelt by the same Spirit. And so though there's a lot of change, he never changes. And so we can trust him. So I would hope that for each of us, however we're, whatever we're struggling with this week, whatever anxieties we might be feeling, whatever joys we're experiencing, whatever frustrations or annoyances or delights, that with all of those things, we're able to bring them before our Heavenly Father who never changes. We can give him the praise and the honor and the thanks, and we can also lay our requests before him. So we are going to press on, Cross Park. We are going to continue to trust the Lord together, and until we see one another again. Grace and peace are yours because of Jesus, and nothing can take that away from you.